Told you I had some time to kill before I head to the gym. The gym won't be up before another 3 hours. Phone is pretty much charged, good enough. So, I'm finished talking about last night. I'm not going to come with the cliche like it was a great night for boxing. Well, we just had a lot of boxing. I saw uh, I'm going to keep calling the new A, the monster, the who somehow found his way in the pound per pound based off the fact that he hasn't fought anybody, but he ain't in my damn pound per pound. And you can listen to this video and cry all you want about we not giving him his prop. We ain't giving him his props until he earns his props. Okay. And if anybody have something different to say, then go somewhere else. I'm not doing this Chocolatito Triple G Lomachenko thing no more with ESPN trying to throw another far east fighter. He ain't from the East Coast, he from the far east. Trying to throw another fighter in our face and say, "Oh, he's one of the best fighters on the planet," based off what? Cuz you say so? Nah, I don't think so. No. Not this time. Not anymore. Okay. I mean, he knocked the dude out, but at the end of the day, let's just stop it, man. So, I'm gonna talk some, talk some boxing, talk about some of the events that happened tonight. Look, I will say this much. Um, I don't know what the number is gonna be for this fight, but I will say this much. Um, I will give a shout out to Al Heyman, Steven Espinosa, because at the end of the day, the Showtime card didn't disappoint. 4 fights, 4 knockouts, and that was the purpose. Mario Barrios, he fought a great fight. He got the knockout. Regis, he got an impressive knockout or TKO. It was a knockout. He was finna knock the dude senseless if he would have, if the referee wouldn't have pulled the trigger. And then Tank possibly got knockout of the year over Leo Santa Cruz. But um, first, I want to start off talking about Alexander uh, Uslik. One dude was trying to say he gonna be trouble for the top heavyweights. Yeah, okay, and okay, as Blueface would say, yeah, all right. I'm not the type that'll show somebody up, but I'll let people have they say unless they just sound incredibly stupid. But I'm not impressed with Uslik so far at heavyweight. Like I keep saying, he is a good boxer, but like I said, when he started fighting some of them bigger dudes, I already see what's gonna happen because a lot of people are unimpressed with his fight. I wasn't that impressed. Like I said, he boxed well, but at the end of the day, see, what I don't like is when people try to push the goalpost back and try to change the standards. What's up? Damn, damn. H, you didn't give me 5 minutes before you brought up Devin, but we gonna get to Devin. We gonna get to Devin in a minute. Bill, I talked to Bill. I talked to Bill before he went on Trill Talk. I will have Bill on here probably late. I ain't gonna say tomorrow because it's already tomorrow. I already told Bill H. I told him to go for the knockout. They need to stop Gamboa because now you have the common opponent comparison. So now, based off what could happen in the next year or two, you're gonna look at Devin versus Gamboa, then Tank versus Gamboa. Tank had a 12th round knockout of Gamboa. Hopefully, Devin can end this fight within 7 to 8 rounds. And like I said before, fight with caution, but I do think they should go for the stoppage because if both of them can get knockouts over Gamboa, the anticipation for a Devin Haney versus Tank showdown will be big. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna tap in. Like I said, I think Bill and Devin leave for Florida. If not, I think they leave for Florida. I think maybe Monday, maybe, or I'm gonna try to catch them like tomorrow. So try to catch them tomorrow. Or try to catch them later on today. But yeah, let me get back to hey H. I'm sorry, man. Your boy Uslik, he ain't that impressive at. He's not that impressive at heavyweight. And when he start fighting bigger dudes, he gonna get exposed. He can't beat Wilder, Fury. Well, Fury gonna cheat anyway. I'm gonna get the Fury too. I'm gonna get the Fury and get the Deontay Wilder finally speaking out. I'm not impressed with Uslik at heavyweight. Now I know this is only his second fight, but uh he gotta show me something. And you can make an argument that he was running in that fight. But then again, they always change the standards. If that had been somebody, if that had been somebody that looked like me or you, they would have said he was running. Oh, we don't want to see that kind of stuff. We want knockouts. We don't want to see that kind of stuff. We want knockouts. Well, I mean, you can't win for losing. But I wasn't impressed with Uslik. Like I said, he can box, but when he started fighting them bigger dudes, and I think when he really get nailed, man. And I know they were saying he finna be the next Evander Holyfield. I don't know about that. I just don't know about that. Uslik can't beat, like I said, he can't beat Joshua. He can't beat Wilder. He can't beat none of them dudes. He can't beat Fury. No, I'm just saying, I ain't got nothing against Uslik, but I'm just telling the truth. I seen him in person. For a heavyweight, he not that big. I mean, you see Wilder and you see Tyson Fury. Remember, I saw Tyson Fury in person. I saw Deontay Wilder in person. I've never saw Anthony Joshua, but I've seen Joe Joyce. Those dudes are big. And Derek Chisora didn't even, like I said, I just know what's gonna happen. Bob is gonna be careful how he matches Uslik. He gonna put this off as long as possible. He gonna do the same thing with Uslik as he did with Lomachenko. He gonna put him in the ring with certain opponents that match his style. They gonna keep in mind, fighting do come down to matchmaking. We ain't in this ain't the 80s no more where everybody fight everybody in the early 90s where they try to get everybody to fight everybody. Like I said, if Uslik was a brother, they would have said he was running. I mean, he was backpedaling. You know what I'm saying? He was backpedaling. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was for real. He spent a lot of time, I mean, going backwards. But at the end of the day, they trying to sit. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, Uslik is gonna probably eventually get exposed. Like I said, when they put him in the ring with one of them giants, it's gonna be curtains for him. So I'm just telling you that I know what I'm talking about. I'm usually right in these type. I said 2 years ago that Lomachenko wasn't that good, and I said when they put him in the ring with a certain type of opponent, when he fought somebody that can keep him up against the ropes, back him up, it was gonna be all bad. And Tiafimo had the wrong style for Lomachenko, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is real talk. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. A lot of people don't want. And Davis, you need to hear this too. You need to hear this, bruh. That Leo Santa Cruz that fought Tank Davis, he would have gave Lomachenko fits. At the end of the day, it was Leo got stopped, but that Leo Santa Cruz for for the first 6 rounds until he got caught, he fought okay. You know what I'm saying? He surprised Tank by bringing the fight to Tank and standing in front of Tank, which we eventually all knew that eventually it was going to catch up to him. And we knew that wasn't going to work for 12 rounds against Tank. Like trying to, trade with Tank, but Tank was patient. And those body shots started to wear down Leo Santa Cruz, the power, just like Lomachenko's was feeling Tiafimo's power. Keep in mind, Tiafimo was lifting Lomachenko in the air. You know you hurting somebody when they jumping up in the air. That's another reason why Lomachenko was backing up like the first 7 rounds. But you just started to see Tank, you know, I'm not gonna say impose his will, but he was just starting to like wear Leo Santa Cruz down. For every 3 good punches that Leo Santa Cruz was landing, Tank was landing a meaningful shot to the body. And then eventually he wore him down, caught him with that uppercut. But like I said, for the most part, Leo fought very well. He impressed me. But what did I tell you earlier in the week? I told you this, H Money. I told y'all this. This is just fact. I told you. There was no scenario that I could see Leo Santa Cruz winning this fight. We all expected Leo Santa Cruz to get stopped in this fight. I said if Tank let this fight go past 8 rounds, I was going to rip him to shreds. He did what he was supposed to do. And I just didn't see Leo Santa Cruz, even though he touched Tank up a little bit, I don't think Tank was ever hurt in that fight. For real. I thought that Leo just didn't have enough power to keep Tank off of him. So like I said, the fight went exactly how I thought it would go. I thought either Tank was going to break Leo Santa Cruz down and he wasn't going to come out of his corner, or he was going to knock him out. And he knocked him out. So what can you say? So like I said, Showtime, I give Steven Espinosa credit, like 4 for 4, 4 fights, 4 knockouts. And I was listening to some of the stuff Floyd was saying in the post-fight interview. What's up? I was listening to some of the stuff Floyd was saying in the post-fight interview. Floyd be cracking me up, talking about why everybody asking who Tank want to fight next. Well, that's what people always do. Floyd be killing me how he try, but now Floyd got a lot of influence. Now what? Now watch people stop doing that. What? Why do people gotta ask him who you supposed to fight? We've always asked fighters who they want next. But now these reporters now these reporters gonna be scared to ask Tank or ask certain fighters questions. But you always ask who you want next, because that's how it works in boxing. This isn't you know, this isn't the NFL. This isn't NHL. This ain't Major League Baseball where you have a schedule. So as fans, we want to know who's next. So what's wrong with that? I mean, just Floyd can be just real irritating sometimes. Like I said, I know Floyd loved to hear himself talk, but Floyd can be really irritating sometimes. And for him to act like it's shocking that somebody asks Tank who he want next, that's just crazy. I mean, Floyd need to cut it out. But at the end of the day, none of them media people gonna stand up to Floyd. And speaking of media, as you can see, they had media at that fight. And didn't I tell you they was gonna have the usual suspects? They had Elliot at the fight, they had Marcos, and they had Fight Hype. They had Sean from Fight, and I'm cool with Sean from Fight Hype. So um I told you that they was gonna start letting the media back in. They just was gonna let the certain ones in, you know. And I expect that to happen with Errol Spence and uh Danny Garcia. Oh, Dexter is coming back. Yeah, I used to like Dexter. That's cool. Yes, shout out to Steven Espinosa. I can't wait to see what the numbers was. Now, I don't think the fight sold very well, but like I said, it was a good night. It was the card was great. I wish that would happen. I wish that would happen more often where you have a pay-per-view and everybody got knockouts. Now it was funny. Regis was talking about that he may move up to 147, but I know that they not gonna just let. I know they not gonna let Regis just go one fight at 140 and then move up to what he need to work his way into welterweight, and he need to get a couple of fights at 140. Now we already know Adrian Broner is probably on the short list for Regis Prograis. Maybe Mikey Garcia. I think Mikey Garcia and Regis Prograis would be a hell of a fight. Maybe Robert Easter Jr. Hell, maybe Mario Barrios somewhere down the line. But there's some fights out there for Regis at 140. It's a lot. It's a lot of work for him out there. Now he not gonna get none of those guys with top rank at 140, but at the PBC, he gonna get some fights. So it's some fight and it's some money out there for Regis. And like I said, I was impressed with Regis stoppage. One thing about Regis, he can hit. The boy can hit. He got power. I'm just gonna be honest with you about Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner right now, and I hate to say this, Adrian Broner right now, he's a name. But for the most part, anybody that fight Adrian Broner at this point probably would be the favorite. If Regis and Adrian Broner fight, more than likely Regis would be the favorite to win in that fight. Because one, there's just gonna be times where Adrian Broner is just not gonna throw no punches. And he not gonna let his hands go. So you would favor Regis in that fight. And like I said, Adrian Broner, I think he had all the potential to be a star, but I think one of the things that happened with Adrian Broner, he admitted he hasn't been the same since the Marcos Maidana fight where he took that ass whooping. And you might could say he wasn't ready for Marcos Maidana. Maybe they moved him along too soon at 147. I think he should have got a few more fights in, but then he had a build. So, at the end of the day, they put him in the ring with Marcos Maidana. And I remember when they first made that fight, I was like, ooh, I was thinking to myself, I don't know about this. And then Marcos Maidana beat the hell out of Adrian Broner. Keep in mind, that fight originally was going to be on pay-per-view, but then they decided to put it on free premium TV. And that fight was supposed to that fight was supposed to jumpstart Adrian Broner because actually I do think to a certain extent they wanted Adrian Broner to be where Tank is, and I just think Adrian Broner didn't have enough discipline, you know, to get where they trying to get Tank at. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, the reason why I was worried about Adrian Broner when he announced and they announced that he was fighting Marcos Maidana, I remember his fight with Paulie Malignaggi. And I was like, damn, Adrian Broner barely beat Paulie Malignaggi, a dude who don't got no kind of punching power. I knew when Adrian Broner didn't stop Paulie Malignaggi and he went to distance with Paulie Malignaggi, a dude that he was supposed to stop, I said, okay. And then they turn around and put him in the ring with Marcos Maidana, you was thinking to yourself, okay, this might not turn out too good for Adrian Broner. And then, lo and behold, he got his ass beat. He got his ass beat bad, really bad. So that's always been the thing with Adrian Broner. He don't win the big fights. I mean, he had a controversial draw versus Jesse Vargas. Um, you might can make an argument that Adrian Granados beat him. Then it was just you just saw this Adrian Broner. You just saw this missing ingredient that he always had, or should I say, didn't have. He was always missing something, and you was kind of thinking that Floyd might would take Adrian Broner under his wing, but then one minute Floyd and Adrian Broner is cool, and then one minute they not. So I'm just keeping it 100. That's why I'm saying every fight that Adrian Broner might be in, he might be he might be the underdog. And like I said, if he fights and when he fights Regis, he gonna be the underdog. And I'm just keeping it 100. Now if he had one of them fights he get up for and he fight to the capability that people think he can fight at, who knows? They gonna make that fight. They probably gonna have Adrian Broner and Regis at a catch weight. Because Adrian Broner, he really ain't a 147 pounder, and then Regis has yet to go to 147. They probably gonna have that fight at a catch weight, probably at between I say 142 or 144. But I do think that fight is eventually gonna happen, and that fight should be somebody's co-main event. All right, so let me talk about let me finish talking about Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz. Um, a lot of people don't feel sorry for Leo Santa Cruz because they feel Leo Santa Cruz, ducked a lot of people. Now, as far I will say this much as far as Floyd goes. I think Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather need to give Gary Russell Jr. a big fight. Like I said, I think Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. would be a great fight, and I think they need to try to make that fight. Now I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Gary Russell Jr. and Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman, but you just been hearing certain things, and that should be the next fight. Tank should fight Gary Russell Jr. somewhere in the DMV for everybody's sake. For everybody's sake. I mean, if Gary Russell Jr. is on his way out, come on, give Gary Russell Jr. A nice cash out. You know, give him a nice, like what you would call a going away present or whatever the case may be. If Gary Russell Jr. might be on his way out, let him and Tank have a fight at 130. Tank say he can, you know what I'm saying? Tank say he can fight at 130. Okay, Gary Russell Jr. could go fight at 130 and then we can get us a fight made. So let's see, will it happen? Let's see, can we get Gary Russell Jr. versus Tank battle with a DMV? Now, all right. So, all right. Let me get to let me get to 7 8 Sports TV and then I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, so let me talk about the interview that 7 8 Sports did with Deontay Wilder, where basically Deontay Wilder finally came forward. He finally came forward. He spoke on the whole incident with Tyson Fury, Mark Breland, you know, and basically he said that Mark Breland was disloyal. He basically said that that his water may have been spiked. He may have been drugged. So wait, what's this? H, I can't like click on to anything when you link it like on the stream and stuff. Because if I try to click on to something, the stream is gonna end or it's gonna freeze, and then I'm gonna have to go through a lot of stuff to try. So you might want to link it to one of my actual videos, and then I'll check it out. But yeah, Wilder finally like aired Tyson Fury out, and everything he said was precise and accurate about Tyson Fury. Look, Tyson Fury was considering harming himself. Deontay Wilder pulled him from from basically um a wasteland, you know, in his head, his mind. Tyson Fury was mentally checked out, and then Tyson Fury has had a history with, that booger sugar. And the thing is, what like pissed me off about these so-called Tyson Fury fans, are you really Tyson Fury fans? Are you really racist? That's my question. For real. People people act like, what I don't understand, for the last few months, people act like we just picking on Tyson Fury. Like he don't have a history of suspect behavior, substance abuse, failed PED test, issues with sparring partners, glove tampering with sparring partners, tampering with his gloves in a fight against Christian Hammer. People act like we just picking on Tyson Fury. Like we just making this shit up. Cause like I said before, if you a brother, all you gotta do is make one mistake and they'll never shut up about it. They still talking about Chris Brown and them damn dogs. And I was like, I can't even remember how long that was. Still talking about Chris Brown. You know? But they just want us to bypass all the stuff, the history surrounding Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury is on the wrong side of history. You didn't hear what I said about Uslik? You're gonna have to go back to the you're gonna have to go back to the beginning of the stream when it's over. Yeah, I think you'll find it interesting. But yeah, people act like we just making this shit up about Tyson Fury, like we picking on Tyson Fury. I mean, I don't know. He's already been caught. So I mean, it ain't until he get caught. He already been caught. Like I said, Deontay Wilder possibly saved Tyson Fury's life, but now Tyson Fury don't want to run it back. He running from a rematch that he owed to Tyson Fury. I mean, that he owed to Deontay Wilder, talking about the contract expired. I'll check him out. He owe it. He owe it. He owe it to Wilder. But he don't want to make things right. Because Tyson Fury know he dirty. And like I said before, I knew something was strange. Tyson Fury ain't never from the time the bell rang went straight to a guy. Then all of a sudden he got all this tremendous punching power. And like I said, Luis Ortiz, and we all can agree that he hit harder than Tyson Fury. He couldn't even drop Wilder. Now all of a sudden Tyson Fury drops Wilder. He got he got Deontay Wilder bleeding. And then Deontay Wilder got a dent in his head. And I'm gonna say this much. I'm gonna be careful how I say this, but at the end of the day, most of y'all gonna catch my drift. I'll put it to you this way. If Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight, and Tyson Fury end up like you know, Adonis Stevenson, except for the fact he don't come out of a coma, I'll be okay with it. Or if something even worse happened to him, I'll be okay with it. You know why? Because Deontay Wilder's doctor said if he had got hit a couple of more times, he would have possibly died. So you think it to yourself, you thinking about Sugar Hill, you thinking about Mark Breland, that basically, you know, basically, basically conspired to possibly get Deontay Wilder seriously hurt, if not killed. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for Tyson Fury if Deontay Wilder puts him, in a box. Nah, I ain't gonna care. I'm gonna be perfectly okay with that. Because like I said, the people on the other side didn't care if it would have happened to Wilder. They would have been talking about, oh well, this boxing. So hopefully Tyson Fury mans up and gives Wilder his third fight. Hopefully this don't have to go to court and we talked about lawyers and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for tapping in. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.